Okay, this is equipment test number 3, and I am putting it on the mount, and it's going to be a driving sequence, but I'm also going to play some music that you wanted to hear. People out there, very good people out there, so be patient. I will be right back with you after I mount this up. And I know it's upside down, but you know what? I haven't figured out this camera very well yet, but I will eventually, I think. So, anyway, just be patient. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. I'm going to be driving on the freeway. Hopefully. I'm doing the cross right now. Hopefully there's no mishaps or misfortunes by myself or anyone else, and because I will try to drive safely, and hopefully there's no jinxing involved here, because I do believe in the power of, I guess you could say, well, it's only an assumption, but one thing you can assume by the sort of the physical nature of life is that a lot of it is based on electromagnetic impulse. From our high technology to our hearts beating to even simple things like snot bubbles. I mean, those things are pretty special, I'd say. But anyway, so right now I am turning onto, I believe this is Century? No, this is Figueroa Street in South Central somewhere. This is the 90s block. 80s block is right up the street. Haven't seen Ice Cube yet, but I think him and Dre are sitting there having Cavassier, probably 18-year-old, $300 bottle Cavassier, going, man, fuck the hood. Which is, I guess, normal for the position they're in terms of money and influence and power and stuff like that. But anyway, I don't know why I got on that subject. What I'm going to play for you is a few tunes that I've put together just over the last few weeks. It's not maybe a month, that I've developed a technique I might have told you about, to where I've more or less studied, I used to play French horn for 7 years, so I know classical music, I know composition to a degree. Can't say I'm like a Mozart or anything, which I'm not, but I don't think Mozart would pretend to be me either, so there you go. That's kind of tit for tat. It's been a long journey, basically, because I'm going to give you kind of a background. Years ago, when I first moved to LA, my musical choices were first of all, punk rock. I mean, if you didn't like punk rock, you sucked. That's all there is to it. And also industrial music, because it was some of the first drum machine, sequencer, electronic type music that was out there. Although it was very fundamental, very, early sequencer type stuff. It was still brand new, and it sounded good. Artists like He'll Call, Lords of Acid, KMFDM, the Ministry. Who else? The Throbbing Gristle, obviously. He started it, for God's sake. Mr. Genesis George, bless his soul. He's not dead yet. But actually, if you asked him, he would say his initial identity is dead, and now he's becoming a woman, or is a woman, transsexual. And although our Miss Caitlyn Jenner is getting all the accolades, only because, you got to give it to the guy, girl, whatever. The girl, she does present more of a stunning, more feminine quality, as in looks, than our Genesis. But, if anyone was a forerunner of modern culture, modern life, postmodernism, if anyone embraces it and laughs at it at the same time, it is definitely our boy Genesis George, who I've appreciated since I heard Heathen Earth, which is one of my favorite albums on earth ever made, and 20 jazz greats and all the rest. But getting back to the original story, with the industrial music, I thought it was some of the best, I guess, modern ways to make music, to listen to music, to appreciate it, to broaden the spectrum of it. Although a lot of my friends at the time, and might or might not still be my friends now, I don't know, because of past circumstances, which I'll get into later, but anyway, they were all into, punk rock, alt rock, glam rock, rock, whatever you want to call it. Definitely more they attributed sound and beautiful music to more analog sounds versus digital, which is what electronic music has become today. And the process, of analog sounds, they appreciated much more. They thought, most people who've dedicated their lives or their identities, their philosophies to one thing don't want to see something else try to change it or even change it, period. So that was their attitudes, and still are to a certain degree. But anyway, a lot of those guys were doing that. I remember sitting with a friend of mine, Doriandra, in my apartment. We pulled out this album called, I believe it was, I forget the name of the album. I forget a lot of things, but it was the first album by Chemical Brothers, and we had I had a vinyl record player because you had one at that time. You just had one, and threw it on there, and it sounded great. I thought Chemical Brothers were the shit. And they were. They definitely honed a craft. They mastered it. They, I guess, transcended it to a certain degree, and basically entertained the world with it. And that's, I guess, what your essence of an artist, what you're supposed to do. And they did it. Then there was Crystal Method, which I really liked, their early stuff. Also, some of the stuff by, I call them Ebenezer Newbaden. It's I call him Ebenezer Newbaden. I thought their stuff was fucking awesome. Leibach, who else? The Orbital, and a myriad of many, many others, even Wire, Godflesh. I was like a huge fan. But one of the biggest influences on me, just the second I heard it, was Mr. I believe it's Ogre from Skinny Puppy. That fucker was a master in the studio. And even what's his name, Rob Zombie, is a master in the studio. All this, although his stuff can be a little on the candy ass sort of, I guess you could say, easily digested kind of stuff. White Zombie's a little heavier, but he's still a master. The guy knows what he's doing. So let's just leave it at that. In any case, so those are my influences way back in the day. Carry over to today. I love dubstep. Dubstep is the shit. Every other genre on the list, you see it on Spotify or Pandora, can eat shit as far as I'm concerned. And I totally, absolutely believe that. The artists are in dubstep. The true believers in music are in dubstep. And even Skrillex, for the most part, is, although he's gone, he's got super mainstream, stuff there. The guy's an entertainer. The guy knows how to, keep a party going, blah blah blah, and you got to give somebody kudos for that. It's all good. But the biggies I love were Benga, Scream, Downlink, Incision. The biggest one is definitely a Bass Nectar, because that fucker lays down. That guy is it's like a picture of talent and knowledge of dubstep like no other person. And it's just, he just pours out the music. He'll probably never stop creating music until the day he dies. So there you go. And all of them are like that. Even what's his name, Cookie Monster, whatever you want to call it. I believe he's from LA. I'm not sure. Oh, I forgot to mention Datsik. Datsик's a fucking tight talent, like no other as well. And he seems like a nice enough guy too. So there you go. Anyways, I saw those two in concert. I had to see one biggie, and when I saw Cookie Monster, it was with Datsik, I had to go see it. It was a little on the, I don't know, kind of like a short attention span theater side, because most of the songs, I actually timed them, lasted about 45 seconds, believe it or not. I don't want to say songs or something, but it was just like intros. It was like intro, boom, 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 and then it would be over, and then another intro would come in, boom, 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 it would be over. So, but the light show was fucking fantastic. Looks like the kids are having a good time, and that's what you want. So there you go. In any case, listen to those people. I can't really say they were influences, only because I've read from Kurt Cobain to Jimi Hendrix to John Bonham to even Eric Clapton. Even though I'm not a real fan of Eric Clapton, I think he's kind of a weenie, but he plays good guitar. There you go. But all the artists that I've read about in interviews and everything, they say you're supposed to come from your own, I guess you could say, your own passion, or your own I guess, motivation of how you think it should sound. And getting back to industrial back in the day, I would go through all these, the closest I came to how I wanted to hear industrial music, what I wanted to hear actually was Skinny Puppy. Although it just kind of sort of ground down to this, I'm gonna eat your brain, the life is not the life you think it is, and so stick a fork in your dick and fucking eat your own shit and whatever. I mean, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, we can all do that, but like Immanuel Kant said, the sun still comes up the next day. Sorry, we're not living in fantasy. This isn't some weird, dumb world that we're all, gonna just wake up, as a turtle's, a toenail or something tomorrow. So there you go. It's got to come from your own gut. It's got to come from your own, what you think it should be, or what puts it together for you. I've always loved energy. I've always loved, I'm not a big dancer. Sorry, I know you want me to be. I know you want me to just, turn Gene Kelly all over the place. Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers. You want me? Actually, I think you want me in a dress, sort of, kind of like a pinup doll, dancing for you, because you're going to sit there and judge and drink your little drink and say whether it was good or bad, whether you know any history about it or not. That's exactly what you're going to do. So, no, I'm not going to get in a dress for you, unless you pay me enough money, which I don't see you doing anytime soon. In any case, I'm not a dancer, but I just love the movement. I love if you can, get up off your ass and make some noise and move and make this life worth living. That's my motivation for you. Because what else is there? There's really not a whole lot at the end of the day. You could say, the love of your child, feed me, that people love, of course. When a kid, comes home from school and he's had a great day and he's happy and he's had friends and everything, those are real cool, for your kids. And also that learning moment where the kid accidentally says, shit, a poo-poo, shit. And you go, you're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to say a doo-doo, or I go boom-boom, or poo-poo, or something like that, right? That's what a kid's supposed to say. I go boom-boom. No, you know what? As far as I'm concerned, every kid wants to say shit, because that's really what it is. I mean, look at it. It really just stinks. It's coming out of your asshole, for God's sakes, right? And kids want to call it what it is. That's my opinion anyway. You can live with that or not. I don't care. But anyway, what was my original point? Whatever influences, whatever, it's like you can't copy anyone. You can't try to be someone. A lot of my friends in rock and roll, they want to be David Bowie. They want because they're so influenced by him, because he's such an icon and all this other shit. He's whatever. And of course, his music is fucking second to none. No one's even come close, except for maybe Mark Bolton or an Iggy Pop or something like that, in terms of the glam rock, iconic status. But you know what? I can remember back in the day, I was like 6 years old or something, 5 years old, something like that. I forget. I researched this years ago, and I got an actual date, but I forget it now. But I remember waking up or something like that, and there was something on TV, and I remember going to it, and David Bowie was in he was dressed like a clown or something like that. And I looked at that, and I immediately identified with it. even though it was a clown, not to identify with clowns necessarily, but I am kind of funny. Clowns are supposed to be funny, so I guess there's a overlapping match there. But I looked at this and I went, I want to be an artist. Period. It was David Bowie as a clown, and then also, you could say he was a clown boy. I guess I became a clown boy at the time. And also there was another artist who was throwing paint. He had a jet airplane and he was throwing paint into the jet fumes or the jet exhaust and was blowing on canvases, and I said that was fucking cool too. And I think it was around the same age, so I don't know. What age do you connect to things? I have no idea, I forget. It might have been 6 years or 5, maybe 7, I don't know. Anyway, so that's my story. I getting back to how I developed a lot of this, what the music I'm going to play for you is I wanted to, first of all, I wanted to, the day we live in it's instant gratification. It's instant telephone calls, instant texts, instant emails, instant coffee, instant flight reservations, instant ordering of whatever over eBay or Amazon or whatever. Instant information, Googling. I'm going to Google something. Google meant to you had googly eyes, for someone, typically someone who wasn't having googly eyes towards you. It was sort of like a weird thing, kind of weird connotation to it. But anyway, or you had googly eyes because you might have been too fucked up or something, or whatever, right? But now the word Google has been homogenized, taken over by Google itself, and basically you Google information, it comes up, instantly. So I wanted to develop music that was instant, was like you learn sounds, you learn length, timing, the timbre, the bass, everything, trebles. You learn, the release and the attacks and everything else. And you basically, you mix all these sounds in a way that's, instantaneous, like, boom, 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 boom. And also, I wanted something that was obviously percussive, because I've wanted to play the drums all my life. My mother didn't let me. There's a big story around that, which I'll get into later. But I think I have a mind for rhythm and percussion that I don't know, I want to develop, and I think I've developed a little bit. I still want to develop more with respect to that, and this is all a learning process. I'm not a young person, but I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I think I've done something with it. I think I've reached goals with it, definitely. It's not going to come out as rich sounding or as mixed as I'd like over this medium, which is this videotape, but I still believe that you'll get a good idea as to what I put together, and I think you might like it. So let me do this. Which is to open up the software. I use my iPhone. Oh, also, I made it a point, although I do have a degree in audio engineering. I did make it a point that, and we're talking with Pro Tools, I have all the certifications you could possibly get for Pro Tools, which was hell on earth to get. Nobody who hasn't taken a test of Pro Tools can even fathom how hard it is to pass those tests. But I fucking knocked it out because I wanted it. I wanted to know ins and outs of those programs. I want to know ins and outs of Logic and all these other programs everyone else uses. Also what the pros use. So I'm not some idiot you're talking to at a dinner party trying to press your fucking girlfriend. I know when you're lying, son of a bitch. What? Anyway, so I got all that behind me. Like I said, I did years of my developing years of playing French horn. Yeah, French horn. You'll like that one. The iconic music logo icon that everyone sees. Everyone puts in software programs and everything else. Yeah, I played that for 7 years, and I could have played it professionally. I would have actually. I was thinking about it because at some point I did. It's like Stockholm syndrome. You sort of you develop a relationship with your enemy, with the thing that's kind of bothering you. Because I had to carry that thing around everywhere, on buses. People didn't want me to sit with them because it was so cumbersome. That was the right word for it. I became a music nerd, the band nerd, blah, blah, blah. Which at the time sucked, but, now it's kind of like, that's all right. So basically, what I wanted to do was only use, getting back to my original statement, what I wanted to use was only the iPhone. Because, obviously, anything to do with PCs suck, anything to do with Microsoft blows. Guys, Bill Gates is the biggest fucking charlatan, biggest hustler on the planet. Liar, sack of shit, thief. He's even stealing people's thoughts right now with respect to him being some sort of philanderer or philanthropist or whatever the fuck he is, and which he's a lying sack of shit as far as I'm concerned. He's got so many billions. He's got $76 billion, but he's going to give $1 billion of it. Oh wow, you're Mr. fucking generous, aren't you? You sack of crap. Anyway, so and the guy, the person who although he had a tendency to be an asshole, Steve Jobs is God. You're not God, Gates. You got all the money. You're the fucking devil, as far as I'm concerned. Devil Gates, devil-egg Gates. And so there you go. I wanted to do everything on the iPhone. All the software, all the brand new, the instantaneous gratification, the composition, which is done basically by laying down one track and then laying down the other track without listening to the first track, laying down the third track without listening to the other two tracks. Basically, with your understanding, your subconscious understanding of rhythm, and also, just what you're feeling at the moment. What's the process going on in your mind and your life and whatever you want to put down. Whatever is coming out at that moment, you have to do instantaneously. You have to do it like you can't think about it. It's just it's there and it's done. If the second you put it down, if you listen to it and you think just a couple things need to be mixed here and there, you spend 10 minutes on it, 15 minutes, something like that. I tried to develop that technique over a period of time, and I think I as I told my therapist, because yes, I see a therapist, and if you're not seeing a therapist, your mother either loved you way too much or just enough, and that's a totally different story. But I'm seeing a therapist. My therapist really loved it. At this point, that's all I need. But in any case, I'm going to play song it's called number 4. It was actually just came up on a list. I didn't name it 4 because of Led Zeppelin's album 4, or even 7 years ago, our pal Mr. Lincoln. It was just 4 on the list, and so I'm going to leave it at that. And and I know you're probably bored right now, which is fine. I could give a shit if you're bored or not. Well, you probably are bored because of our instantaneous ADD-inflicted lifestyle that we have, which is, essentially what I've tried to attribute the creativity towards. And so I don't blame you for having that hurry up, get to the fucking music attitude. But at the same time, fuck you if you can't wait a few seconds more, because if you got that kind of fucking attitude, you're kind of dickish anyway, so whatever. Anyway, so here's and hopefully it comes out sounding on this medium the way I'd like it to sound and live, because I want people to fucking dance. I want people to have fun and just be who they are and get crazy, So anyway, here we go. how's that for a song? To make you get your motherfucking ass out of the chair and move it. Because that's what life's all about, baby. Moving your fucking ass. And thank you very much, because I got some shit I gotta get out of storage. Alright. You have a wonderful day, and hopefully a wonderful rest of your life.